Alrighty, folks, good evening and welcome to ERC Eternal Racing Championship and the ERC NASCAR Series here once again on a lovely Friday night. Live from the virtual Richmond Raceway for the Cookout 200. This 0.72 mile track will play host to the second race of the round of 16 with 200 laps, 4 additional sets of tires, and stages at lap 35 and 90. My name, as always, Matthew Chase, the voice of Friday nights here for ERC NASCAR. And last week at Gateway, for those who didn't catch that race, Bryce Fountaine locking his way into the round of 12 with a pretty good win there at Gateway. A little bit of fun being had there. And we are on to qualifying already. Fountaine had the fastest lap in the practice session. We'll see what he can do here in qualifying, as well as the other drivers out there tonight. And it looks like Ray Hanneman, the first one to get out on track. Quick laps here from the D-shaped oval in Richmond, as Hanneman will start his first hot lap. Looks like he's running that line just a little bit higher, and he's going to get loose there. No contact with the wall, so he'll be able to reset and try lap number 2. Mason Tomlinson here out of turn 4 on his out lap. Jose Mercado coming across the line, as Hanneman's first lap is a 26-second lap. That obviously not ideal. Mercado with a 21.993. And he's loose there. Hanneman's second lap is much better with a 21.922. Getting Hanneman up to the pole for just a half a second as Higginbotham's second lap gets him up there. And Nolan McClurg actually jumps now to the top of the pole. Let's see what Romano can do on his second lap. He's up there in 4th. Now 5th as McClurg jumps him. Ryan McClurg, that is. And Romano's lap 2 is a 21.93. Kern on lap 2 right now. Sits 11th. And Fountaine getting out to the pole, 21.629. And Kern going to join him on that front row as of right now with a 21.764. Troy Burke out there running his first lap here. No time down there for Burke, so I'm guessing contact with the wall there somewhere. And lap 2 for the number 47 as he crosses the line. And again, no time down. Corey Rayner coming out. Ooh, loose into turn 1. That'll be a hit to the wall. We'll see what Rayner can do on his second lap. Because he'll have one lap to do it. And it looks like he's going to choose to sit out the remainder of qualifying. Chris Walsh. On lap 1 here. Lap 1 for Walsh is a 22.63. Looks like going a second lap hot lap. Should have time to get there. And off turn 4, there it is, the second lap. Chris Walsh up to the 8th spot with a 21.874. All right, qualifying is completed. So we'll take just a couple of minutes here as the drivers get onto the starting grid, and we'll be right back with the starting grid for tonight's race at the Cookout 200 from Richmond Raceway. Alrighty, we are back here with our pole sitter, Bryce Fountaine. A win last week. I believe you got the pole last week as well. I might be wrong on that one. But now another pole here at Richmond. How you feeling about the race tonight?
I feel pretty good so far. Track is pretty slick out there. I saw a couple guys spinning around in practice, and I had a couple moments as well. So definitely going to try to have to manage the speed as well as keeping the tires underneath it, especially on the exit of 2, which is pretty standard here, but it can get loose in the entry of the corner as well if you're not careful. So we're just going to try to keep an eye on that. Fuel shouldn't be too much of an issue here tonight. So yeah, we'll just try to keep it up front in the clean air, take care of the stuff, and try to maximize on the points. Again, we're already locked in, so we can kind of, I don't want to say coast. We all know that that's not something that's going to happen with me, but we can kind of play a little bit more strategic, a little bit more safe. We don't have a lot on the line, so we'll try to play into that factor and, you know, as per usual, see what we can do to get there at the end.
Yeah, Bryce Fountaine and Coast have never been in the dictionary next to each other, and they'll never they've never been a thesaurus either. So thesaurus either. So yeah, I don't expect you to do anything but be yourself, which is aggressive, and try to get as many points as possible. Good luck though tonight, Bryce, and we'll hopefully talk to you later.
Yes, sir. That's the goal. Thank you. We'll see you.
And we'll take a look at the starting grid here. Bryce Fountaine on that pole with a 21.629, a great lap from him. Joining him on the front row is William Kern in the number 31. Nolan McClurg will be starting in the second row in the third position in the number 6 car. We have Ty Higginbotham outside row 2 in the 45. Tyler Helsel in the number 5 car will start inside row 3 and round out the top 5 on the starting grid with Mason Tomlinson in the 4 to his outside starting P6. Row number 4 has Ryan McClurg in the 43 on the inside of that row with Chris Walsh in the 83 joining him there in starting P8. Chris Romano in the 51 starts 9th tonight with Ray Hanneman rounding out the top 10 on the starting grid in the number 85. The 24 of Gregory Vadnais will be starting in 12th with Jose Mercado. Jose will be starting in P11 in row number 6. And the remainder of the field here, Justin Lanier is getting out on track right now. He'll be starting in the 13th spot with Brandon Biddy in 14th. And then Troy Burke in 15th with Corey Rayner shotgun on the field here tonight. Drivers getting that second pace lap in right now. And 16 drivers here tonight. As Fountaine and Kern will lead them to the green flag. Teammates on Eternal Racing, or eternalracing.com. As the green flag does fly here for the start of the Cookout 200. Fountaine will rip away on the inside. Kern will try to join that inside lane, but decides to stay a little bit higher. Watch for cars to get loose out of turn 2. This is the danger zone here tonight. As Kern will dive bomb down to the inside in turns 3 and 4. Fountaine will be side by side with him out of 4. And the momentum around the top will keep Fountaine leading that first lap. 35 laps in first stage of the race tonight. Nolan McClurg able to hold off Helsel for right now, but it looks like McClurg getting challenged by the 5 as Helsel looks to get to the inside. Hammond was in a battle there with Ryan McClurg, but it looks like he's good. A couple people getting loose, and that was Higginbotham having to save it. Walsh with a little bit of damage maybe to the right side of his car as Hanneman splits the middle and tries to get by both those guys. Higginbotham with a good charge back on the inside, able to hold a position for now. And right here, offset 3 wide, Biddy getting to the inside on Ryan McClurg. And the 2 car going to make Quick work of the 43 is right now Ryan McClurg seems to be falling back a little bit, down 4 spots from the start of the race. Back up near the front, Fountaine continuing to lead the way with William Kern still sitting in second. And then Nolan McClurg and Tyler Helsel continuing to battle it out in third and fourth. 2, 3, 4 all under a pretty close blanket. Maybe one of those giant blankets, you know. Good run for McClurg out of turn 2. He will get right to the back bumper of the 31. As that number 6 Mustang trying to find his way by 31 Camry. And Nolan McClurg with a bit of a blink there, but he's good. A little bit loose out of 2, and that will open the door for Helsel as Helsel looks around the top. And that will be pass completed for Tyler Helsel as he moves up to P3. Back here on the fringe of the top 10 as Ryan McClurg holds that 10th spot. Gregory Vadnais looking to get by in the 24. Greg doing a good job of getting down to the yellow line, trying to use that paint to wrap the bottom. A little bit over driving there in 3 and 4 for the 24 that time. The battle of the Chris's here is Chris Walsh and Chris Romano, nose to tail, with Ray Hanneman right in front of these guys as well. We missed this pass, but Tyler Helsel moves up to second. And with William Kern hitting the wall, that's going to allow Nolan McClurg to get to the inside, and that will be a pass completed on William Kern as he will fall back to the 4th spot. Helsel has his sights set forward on the race leader. Battle for 12th here as Mercado will get to the inside and complete the pass on Vadnais. Saw a little bit of movement up there for that 3rd spot once again, but Kern is still in line behind Nolan McClurg. And Romano continues to give chase on Chris Walsh as well. And there we go. Chris Romano going to get by Walsh that time by. And he will move up to the 8th spot. And the battle for 4th is picking up now as here comes Mason Tomlinson in the 4. So we're 20 laps in to the first stage. It's been very, very quiet so far, with Bryce Fountaine continuing to lead the way. Take a look at back here at the edge of the top 10. Once again, Ryan McClurg continuing to hold that 10th place position, but for now, Brandon Biddy trying to close in. And right behind Biddy is Jose Mercado, starting to move his way up through the field. I believe Jose had an EOL because he ended up starting at the back of the field. He's moving his way up, trying to gain as many spots, get into position for some stage points. Oh, and Mercado barely able to get by as Biddy hits the wall hard out of turn 2. So put Brandon Biddy back to 12th as Jose does move up to the 11th spot. And up here in 7th, Ray Hanneman does hold that spot as the leader comes by for 8 to go. Romano trying to chase him down now. Ryan McClurg still holding that 10th spot. Here comes Jose. And there goes Jose to the down to the inside. Trying to make the move for the 10th spot. Crossover here from McClurg. And never mind, no crossover as he's not able to make that happen. And Mercado moves up to the top 10. Four to go for the race leader. He's got Lanier right in front of him. Fountaine makes quick work of the lapped car. One more time around for the first stage of the race. And this time by, Fountaine will see the green and white checkered and mark the end of the first stage of tonight's race. And he takes that free and clear. Down pit road goes everybody. Only Lanier to stay out. Off pit road. Fountaine does retain the race lead. And we'll grab Bryce Fountaine, stage 1 winner, pole sitter as well. How's the 17 car feeling after the first stage?
That was great up front. Hopefully we can keep it here in the clean air. The clean air has been pretty good to me. Ran a little bit of testing there to see kind of what that pace would do to the tires, and I think we're in a pretty good spot. We'll just have to wait and see how this thing pans out for the rest of the race to see if that theory is accurate or not.
Extra bonus points as well, winning the stage, so that's always nice to have those in the pocket. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to talk to you here later on tonight. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yep, thank you, sir.
Good start for Fountaine. He's led every lap so far, except maybe the first one. And it looks like Lanier going to get out of pit road there, no problem at all. And Fountaine going to take the inside there. All right, green flag back out here as we start stage number 2. Three wide back here. As it's Mercado, Hanneman, and Kern racing 3 wide here at Richmond. And it looks like Hanneman able to make the move to 4th. Kern gets that figured out for the 5th spot. Higginbotham and Tomlinson. When Biddy over driving there a little bit, and round goes Helsel. The single car spin. Did not see what happened. Now the caution's out. As Hanneman with damage. Gets loose off of 2, which we said that's the danger zone. Ooh, actually able to keep it off. Looked like I thought he hit the wall, but he's actually able to keep it off. So, heck of a job keeping that car clear of the damage. There's some extra heat in those tires on the 85. Back to double file here with Fountaine and Nolan McClure going to be on that front row this time. Helsel and Hanneman will have to battle from mid to back of the pack. And the green flag flies here. Once again on lap number 48. Big time damage in the back there. Ryan McClurg, Corey Rayner involved. Cautions, breeding cautions here in the short track racing. Let's go back and see exactly what happened. All right. McClurg gets tagged here by the 5 of Helsel. Right in front of Mercado. Looks like a little bit of damage there for the 41. And then Rayner nowhere to go. Hard shot into the 43. The right front fender torn off of the 43. And I would imagine some damage there for the 00 as well as the 41. Unfortunate there. And it does look like Ryan McClurg coming down pit road, as is Mercado and Chris Walsh. Walsh actually has been down on pit road for a little bit. Looks like he got some damage involved in the last incident, potentially. We might have missed that. Seems like Rayner not coming down, so maybe the 00 is okay. Our second caution for cause here. Next time by a quarter of the way down in the Cookout 200. Pace car diving back off. Fountaine has control. And the green flag flies, and Fountaine will rip away on the inside. McClurg and Kern going to figure that out as, wow, Mason with a real aggressive dive to the inside. He gets by Higginbotham up to the 4th spot. And now Romano will be side by side with Higginbotham. Romano going to get out in front, and Kern gets loose. Can't tell if he got the wall there at all or not, but William Kern falling back to 13th after getting loose. That'll move Tomlinson up to 3rd. Also side by side with Brandon Biddy down the back stretches. Biddy will dive deep into turn 3. Got a little bit of a lock up there on the 2 car. As Biddy will shoot down to the inside on Higginbotham now. He will not be able to make that happen. Helsel going to hit the wall off of turn 2. And now trying to cross over. A little bit of contact between the 5 and the 45 there. Offset 3. Higginbotham will bail out. Helsel trying to move forward back towards the front of the field. And he's battling hard still with Brandon Biddy off of turn 2. And is trying to move back up to the front as well as he got loose, causing not the last caution, but the caution before that. And Helsel finally does complete the pass on Biddy for the 5th spot. Up ahead, Romano looks to the inside on Tomlinson. And Romano will get by. Kern is caught back up to the 24. Helsel and Biddy back to battling it out. Seems like Biddy has better entry speed, but Helsel great exit speed around the top side. And you see there, the 31 is going to go ahead and get by Rayner and Vadnais both. And his sights set back on the top 10. Nolan McClurg has Romano chasing him down. Romano has been slowly but surely moving his way through the field. Little scrape of the wall there from McClurg. The hard battling there between Biddy and Helsel. Biddy is falling back now behind Hanneman as Hanneman gets a great run out of turn 4. As the lights are on here at Richmond Raceway and the transition into the nighttime has started. Kern up to 9th as he's going to go ahead and get by Troy Burke for that 9th spot. And a little ways to go to the next car. Ty Higginbotham. Vadnais and Rayner battling for the 12th spot. And that battle for 7th is heating up, as Hanneman has gotten by Biddy and running away, and now Biddy having to deal with the 45 of Higginbotham. And only 15 more laps here in stage 2 as well, as the race leader crosses the line for lap 76. And once again, Fountaine continues to lead the way here in the second stage of the Cookout 200. An eye on Ray Hanneman now. He's looking to get back into the top 5. Battling hard with the other driver who had a bit of a mistake to get himself back in the pack here, and Tyler Helsel. Tight to that quarter panel, and that rear bumper is Hanneman. Ready to pounce if Helsel makes any kind of a mistake. Good respectful racing between these two guys. Now Romano did get passed by Tomlinson for the 3rd spot, but the 51's standing tall here in that 4th position still. And something that kind of has gone by the wayside as well is this is another race in the in-season tournament. I forgot about that tonight as well. Taking a look at the bracket, I won't be able to pull it up for you guys, but Fountaine has a bye here tonight. into the final round because the other half of the bracket up on the top side, neither driver was at the race at Chicago Street Course. So he'll have a bye into the finale at Homestead for the in-season tournament. The other battle is between the guy battling for second, Nolan McClurg. He is dealing with Jose Mercado, and the blink for McClurg Nolan McClurg still not back yet. As he starts to lose positions, that might be a disconnect. As there's 2 to go here in the stage, Fountaine continues racing from the lead. Well, now that battle gets very interesting as Mercado was the battle in that in-season tournament now. Mercado leading over Nolan McClurg in the semifinal. Well, 1 lap to go here in stage 2. Fountaine leads it. Tomlinson now second. Chris Romano in third with Hanneman trying his hardest to chase him down, sitting in the 4th spot. And off of turn 4, that will be stage 2 in the bag for Fountaine. And the yellow flag out for the stage. And Fountaine with the clean sweep here in stages 1 and 2. Stage 2 winner going to Fountaine. And a lot of spots lost on pit road for Mason Tomlinson there. We'll grab Mason Tomlinson, the number 4 car. You finished second in the second stage, and how you feeling about stage 3 here?
Pretty good. I was hoping it would have went 20 more laps. I think unless he was holding back a little, I thought I was catching him a little bit, but I got some work to do. I just slipped in my box again and then backed up, and I didn't come to a complete stop. So, but I don't think all these guys took 4 tires either.
Well,
they pulled out pretty early. So.
Yeah. I mean that'll hopefully play off for you though.
Yeah, I told you last week I liked this track, but when I started practicing, it felt like a whole new track to me. So, but I'm starting to get the feel for it now, and just gotta. I was really looking forward to being on the front row, but we'll try to get back there.
All right, Mason. Well, good luck the rest of the way. Hopefully, we talk to you at the end.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Mason going to be starting inside of row number 4, it looks like, in the 7th spot. Fountaine continuing to have the race lead. He has had it pretty much the entirety of the race so far, with Chris Romano to the outside of him this time, and the restart will go the way of both those guys. Fountaine and Romano doing a great job on the initial restart there. Higginbotham side by side with Ray Hanneman. Hanneman sideways in front of a few people. He gets it figured out. But again, spots lost for some drivers. Oh, Mason, we just talked to him, gets caught up in that. Fountaine and Helsel. Helsel gets up to the 2nd spot once again. And Hanneman right back into striking distance for the 6th spot as Biddy holds that position. Caution is out. Chris Walsh has jumped to the pits. See what happened. Yeah, losing it off of turn 2. Again, turn 2, the danger zone here at Richmond Raceway. And that might be the night for Walsh. A lot of damage to that. Number 83. It's like Biddy, Hanneman, Mercado coming down pit road. That's our third caution for cause here tonight. Pace car dives off into the restart zone. And Fountaine rips away on the inside. On the caution is out. Helsel has a black flag here, as Burke and Rayner involved in this one. It actually kind of happens right in front of these guys. Initially. Lanier, hard shot to the back of the 31 rather. And then looks like Biddy into the 47. The 6 and 41 make a little bit of contact on the outside, but this one, Biddy and Burke. And Burke tags Rayner there too. Unfortunate. Cautions breeding cautions here. And Helsel still having to serve that black flag as well. Timing of that caution couldn't have been worse. Drivers getting back to double file here as Fountaine continuing to take the bottom on the restarts with Romano now to the outside. We've seen this combination a few times so far. Green flag flies. Fountaine rips away on the inside. And he'll be clear down the front straightaway and into turn one. also will go back down to try to serve this black flag one more time. Oh, when he got loose on the entry and he hit the tire, the barrels rather. Unfortunate. Back out front, though, Fountaine continues to lead the way. 88 laps to go here from Richmond. Let's crank it up. Now's as good a time as any. Pretty good battle here for the race lead as Romano closes in. The challenges for the lead have been few and far between so far tonight. Tomlinson's still in pretty good position as well, as he's back into the top three after the pit stop and then the spin or the damage or whatever it was that happened to the Ford. Didn't exactly see what happened to him. Again, still now running in third. Mercado now in 7th, leading his in-season tournament battle. About a half second back here from Higginbotham. Romano's done a great job of hanging with Fountaine, hovering between the 2 to 4 tenths of a second back, sometimes half a second. And then back into the top 5, closing in on William Kern for that 4th spot. And now a blink from Kern. Oh, Kern's back. Lost the spot, but he is back. That was a long blink from William. I thought we lost another driver to that. So nothing too terrible for Will. He loses 1 spot. But the caution's out as Rayner's involved in this one. And that will help Helsel, who was a lap down because of the black flag. He will get that lap back. And a much better pit stop that time for Mason Tomlinson as he gets back to the 2nd spot. going to grab Chris Romano in the number 51, sitting in the 3rd spot here. About 65 to go here in the race. How you feeling about your chances tonight?
Feeling pretty good. Bryce is obviously fast, as always, but just trying to save my tires a little bit more. Up to coming up to stage 2, tires fall off a lot.
Yeah, and starting in the 3rd position, you'll be able to start right behind him. What do you think? How do you think you're going to fare in these last few laps?
Hopefully I save my tires enough. The fuel, but hopefully there might be.
All right. Well, we'll get you back with your team. Good luck the rest of the way, Chris. Romano starting in 3rd. See what he's got for these guys at the front. He's been battling hard up here. Fountaine with control once again, taking the inside lane into the restart zone. And the green flag flies. A good jump there for the inside lane, but Tomlinson able to hold off Romano for now. Oh, when Romano gets loose. Didn't exactly see what happened. It looks like there might have been some contact. Nope, just over braking maybe a little bit down there into turn 3. Oh, and Mercado with a shot to the nose. Down in turn 2. Still not too bad. He only got loose. Jose gonna have to come down pit road. Get some of that damage taken care of on the nose. And if anybody wasn't sure if they could make it on fuel, they should be able to now. Helsel went back down a lap after pitting last time, so he will get his lap back this time as well, and he'll be back to the lead lap. Oh, Romano going to come down pit road here. All right, pace car should be in here. And into the restart zone once again. As away goes Fountaine on the restart. Tomlinson able to clear on Higginbotham for second. But Brandon Biddy and William Kern still battling it out hard for fourth and fifth. Hard shot to the wall. Multiple drivers getting loose there. No caution. I can't believe that's not a caution. Kern keeps it rolling. As he remains in fifth, Mercado will move up to fourth. Then Romano in sixth. Yeah, Hanneman and Biddy both getting loose off of two, and yeah, I just can't believe that wasn't a caution. That was insanity. Romano got loose there off of two that time. He's going to lose a bunch of spots, but I think he kept it off the wall, so. Told you guys, danger zone out of turn two. Everybody having difficulty over there. Caution is out as Corey Rayner is involved once again. Not entirely sure what that was. I'll go back to this and move back a little bit. Going back a full lap here. They're racing side by side with the 24 and just hard contact there. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what that was. All right, let's see. Lost track of where we were. Lap 154 here. Base car's diving off. And into the restart zone, and another good jump there for Fountaine as he gets clear of Tomlinson for the race lead. Single file at the front. Oh, and Biddy almost closing the door on Helsel. William Kern to the inside on Romano as Kern moves back up to 6th. Mercado and Hanneman right in close proximity as Kern tries to join that fight as well. Guys all battling very hard at the front of the field now. Fountaine still leading. Looks like he's running the high line, changing it up a little bit, trying to maybe use the aerodynamics of the car to get the dirty air on the nose of Mason, but Mason ended up taking the inside lane down there in 3 and 4. Hanneman makes the pass for 4th on Mercado. Romano looking to strike as well. Right behind those guys, the 5 of Helsel joining the fray as well. He's closing in on William Kern for that 7th spot. Once again, Kern and Romano side by side. And Will clear in the 31. We'll move back up to 6th. Mercado and Kern both tagging the wall out of 2. And Mason with the 45 of Higginbotham in tow. Continuing to try to use the outside to gain the momentum off the exit and propel that car down the straightaway. Less than 30 to go now as Fountaine does continue to lead, but any kind of mistake from the 17 will allow a multitude of drivers to get by, as Hanneman has actually moved his way up to the 3rd spot to get by Higginbotham. Mercado still trying to chase down Higginbotham for that 4th spot. And the battle for 2nd is still on as Hanneman trying to challenge Tomlinson for 2nd. That's a good run down the backstretch. I'd expect to see the 85 go for the dive, maybe. He goes to the inside. He'll be side by side with Tomlinson, but the momentum for the 4 around the top. And this time, continuing to battle for 2nd. Hanneman trying to make that bottom work. A little bit of loose off of turn 4. But he's still to the door on Tomlinson. Once again, the momentum down the backstretch giving that advantage to Tomlinson. And Hanneman able to slide up in front. The crossover now. And it looks like Hanneman's got that pass completed for the time being. Up to P2 for Hanneman. So the top 6 right underneath this little cluster of cars. Currently farthest back right now in that 6th spot. 1.7 back from the leader, but about 3/10 behind Mercado. And it falls back to Chris Romano sitting in the 7th spot, as Helsel has started to reel him in for that position. And only 17 laps to go, and car 17 is still out front. And Helsel and Romano are going to be battling for that 7th spot. Looks like Helsel will get the better of the 51. Ooh, little loose there from the 4 as we come back to the battle in the top 3. Tomlinson continuing to run that high side down in turns 3 and 4. Looks like he's trying to run it down in 1 and 2 this time too. Again, just kind of utilizing the high side to gain that momentum down the straightaway. And he gets aggressive down here in 3 and 4 this time, trying to close that gap. Back to Hanneman for 2nd. All right, 6. Nope, I lied. 7 to go. I thought it was going to change again. I was wrong. But Fountaine continuing to lead the way. Hanneman is in striking distance. He's kind of closed that up a little bit by about a 10th and a half or so in the last couple of laps. And Mercado able to get by Higginbotham down here into turns 1 and 2 with 5 to go. Hanneman's closed that gap up now between 2 and 3/10 of a second. Lanier gets out of the way, not wanting to affect the outcome of this race. That will lose some time as Hanneman hits the wall out of turn 4. 3 to go. Deep entry into turn 1 for Hanneman. 2 to go from the race leader. Just shy of a 1.5 miles left to go. And Fountaine coming off of turn 4. White flag in the air for the number 17. Pretty dominant race here from car number 17 as Fountaine started on the pole, won both stages, and he will complete the sweep at Richmond.
Pretty good. It was a good points day. They were all self-inflicted. I lost it since I slid through the box. I was trying to make up some spots, and you can't get on the gas real hard on new tires. And I actually didn't have damage for some reason. Did it look like I did?
There's a little bit of a crinkle on that right front, I think, based on
Yeah,
what I could see.
Hey, I
I
hate to
absolutely,
interrupt.
Yeah, I
hate
heard
to
it.
interrupt.
I got it. I fixed it.
Cool.
Keep going.
absolutely ramped. There's a bump in the infield, and I think I went about 1.5 feet in the air, and somehow when I landed, I was straight, so it worked out. I thought I could have won that race. I didn't manage my tires very well on that restart. I really wanted to get out front of him so I could manage my tires. I thought I was a little bit faster than him, especially on the long run, but he did a really good job of every time I got close to him, just at the right time, driving in front of me and coming off the corner, I'd get super tight or super loose, and I ended up roasting my right front, and I was driving it really hard into the corner trying to get there. But I didn't know if he had enough fuel because I barely did, and I was trying to kind of push him too. But I'm happy with it considering the sequence of events throughout the race.
Yeah, it seemed.
Good points day.
I say it seemed like a lot of the time you had diamonding the corners. That's what I would see you go in hot entry with going up to the top of the track. Is that kind of the strategy you were using, trying to gain the momentum down the straightaways?
Yeah, it was working in stage 2 especially, but I wasn't getting blocked as much. So I was able to stay in the throttle. But once Bryce saw me catching him, he instantly drifted up the track. So then I went low, and I wasn't too comfortable down there, except for like in the middle of the run or late in the run for some reason. And it was like 50-50 down there. It was either like I got a good run off the corner, or I'd peel out and almost wreck. So I was just I was searching there, and I don't know if I should have stayed up high or not, because he still would have air blocked me, but that was where I was comfortable at. So
yeah, sometimes you got to just take the comfortability. I feel like in where you feel most comfortable.
On the long run, for sure, if I had managed my tires good, I would really start catching people when I'd stay high in the entry of the corner and diamond it down. I was flying, but it was, I don't know, man. That was a very inconsistent race as far as the way the track felt. Like I said, I used to love this track, but that felt like a brand new track to me.
Well, hey, for a brand new track, finishing third, like you said, good points day for you. Can't be too upset about that at all. And I would imagine, based on the fact you were here last week and this week, you're probably making it to the round of 12. So how you feeling about Watkins Glen and Pocono in the next round?
Watkins Glen, I'm a middle ground kind of road course racer. Watkins Glen, I think I got third in HVRL there. So maybe if I'll be all right there, maybe top 5 is hopeful. What did you say, Pocono?
Pocono, yep.
I love that track, so I'm looking forward to that one.
All right. Well, anybody want to shout out before we let you go, Mason?
Everyone that showed up tonight. I know in the playoffs, a lot of people decided to bail out and stuff, so I appreciate that. And you guys for always doing what you do, and all the sponsors, and Bryce for all putting this on, and my teammates, and for my girlfriend watching every time, even though she's busy watching a baby right now. So yeah, it's fun, man. Just hope we can keep the momentum going.
Yeah, a couple of good top 3 finishes here in the round of 16. Keep that momentum going. Hopefully we'll talk to you again next week, Mason. Good luck.
Hey, thanks, man.
Tomlinson finishes in third. And then next up, we'll grab our second place finisher, the number 85 of Ray Hanneman. A couple of great battles there throughout the third and final stage. Battled with Tomlinson rather for that second position, and you were chasing down Fountaine there at the end. Come up a couple of laps short. How you feeling about the second place finish though?
I mean, I don't know. I started in 10th, worked my way through the field a couple times, had a couple self-spuns, just losing talent. I mean, it's not first, so I mean, it's a runner-up. I mean, I'll take it. Not super impressed with myself tonight. Not super impressed with the or just how I drove, but I mean, I can't be mad with second place, right? So.
Yeah, we did notice a couple of self-spins. Also one there that your teammate was right in front of you, Brandon Biddy, got loose, and then it was almost like synchronized spinning down the backstretch, and then miraculously no caution. I felt like there should have been one there, but there wasn't.
Well, because I saw Kern hit the wall like I knew he was gonna push tight and go to the wall, so I yanked her to the left because I didn't want to pinch his exit in case he had to like get off the wall and he was gonna spin on it, like
Right.
on that like little area there. So it just happened the back end kicked out at the same time. I was able to lock it down, and then I looked up and I saw Kern and Biddy together, and I'm like, well, I mean that's gonna be a caution. That just saved me, and then no caution came out, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm going through the field again. So
Yeah,
I just knew it was inevitable at that point.
I was surprised by that one, not throwing the caution there, but I mean, hey, you end up in second. You seemed like you had speed to challenge Bryce for the win. Did you feel the same about that?
Dirty air is just so bad here, and like I mean, it's not terrible. I was doing a lot to save my tires. Everybody around me was in fourth gear, and I literally kept it in fifth all night. I don't think I started downshifting to fourth until the last 15 laps of the race, and just want to make sure I had enough fuel for the end, and making sure my tire strategy was good. And I mean, when Tomlinson and I were battling it out, trying to get by each other, I knew Bryce was backing it down to cool his tires up, and this lap traffic kind of helped and kind of made it a little more eventful, but I don't think I had it anyway. I mean, maybe if it was a caution, we get two tires and rack them up and go again with 10 to go, but nothing there I don't think I could have done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, second is still good, especially with the roller coaster of a night you had. Now, remind me, you didn't make it to Gateway last week, correct? Or were you there? I don't remember.
I know I was there. I spun out in the first 10 laps.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I knew there was something there. How are you feeling about the round of 12 races? We got Watkins Glen and Pocono.
I mean, from previous leagues, I feel like I'm pretty good at Watkins Glen. I feel like I'm pretty confident. Pocono, I'm not a fan of. I mean, Bryce and I have had our good battles. There's hit and miss. Sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm not. So I guess the luck of the draw, and hopefully I'm pulling lucky number 7 for that one. So we'll see.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. So, all right, anybody you want to shout out, Ray, before we let you go?
I got to thank you for putting on the broadcast every single week. We're almost done with the season, so I appreciate all the fans and all the competitors sticking out with us, and making sure that still got people to drive against. And I know it's there's a little bit of people get heated. Everyone's very competitive, but at the end of the day, it is racing, and it's in the moment might be heated, but it's good to go back and watch the race, the beer, and chat it up with everybody because we're all human and we all make mistakes sometimes, but we're all competitors at heart, right? So appreciate everyone for being calm, cool, collected. I got to thank the girlfriend for watching, the family, let me do this, and supporting me through this in IRL. I got to thank all the sponsors: Eternal Racing, Triple Stint, iStats, Clark Heating and Cooling on the fueled up cars. I'm running that recently. ABN, all their fueled up, and then Admin Box, all their other sponsors that I don't know off the top of my head yet. I'm still learning that one, but no, I'd like to appreciate all the drivers that are in. Bryce, Mason. Got to thank Ty, Jose, everyone out there. It's just keeping it clean, racing clean against me as well, and I appreciate every single one of them. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to all the admins, and I'm excited for next week.
All right. Well, we'll catch you next week at Watkins Glen, Ray. Have a great night.
Awesome. Thank you.
Ray Hanneman, the number 85, finishes in the second position. And last but not least, we have our race winner in the number 17 of Bryce Fountaine. Clean sweep for you here at Richmond. Pretty much leading every lap, maybe even leading every single lap tonight. Pretty dominant performance. How you feeling after the race win?
Clean air is good air, man. It was definitely important tonight. And, yeah, played a difference. There was a couple times where I think I got behind lap cars like 2 or 3 times in 1 and 2. And I think every single time I lost 2 to 4 tenths. So I feel bad for the guys behind me for having to deal with that, but yeah, track position was huge there, and luckily we got the pole and never looked back. And yeah, like I said, clean air good, so it's a good win.
It's kind of like how this car is for every track. It feels like everyone talks about how the dirty air plays such a factor, and you were aero blocking, especially late in that race as Hanneman and Tomlinson were trying to chase you down. How important? I mean, we talked about clean air being good air, but how important was that aero blocking for you as a strategy late in the race?
I mean, it's good. It's everything, right? But the great thing about it is honestly, I'm not even intentionally aero blocking. On all the restarts, I could tell that whoever was in, second or third or fourth, the guys behind me, everybody was driving it in the corner pretty hard tonight. and I think that was kind of a factor as well. I mean, I think clean air for sure, obviously. I mean, we say clean air every week, but I think that with how aggressive those guys were getting in the corner, that kind of gave me the advantage. I was kind of running that diamond all night and just letting it roll the center. And, when those guys were crossing my wake, whether it would be from top to bottom or bottom to top, it's just hard, right? And then, the biggest thing is when you're behind somebody in dirty air, the corners, they're so tight on entry and through the center, especially in dirty air. So the guys have so much wheel in it behind you that when it comes to get off the corner, I mean, it's just so much easier for me to throttle up. But the wheel is straighter. There's not that much turn in it. And the car just fires off. And I think that was definitely the deciding factor.
Yeah, you had battles pretty much all night through with a bunch of different people. Tomlinson, Hanneman, Helsel was up there battling with you. Romano. I mean, did you ever feel like changing your lane had to be a priority? It seemed like you said the diamond was working pretty well for you. There were a few times where I saw you wrapping the yellow line. I mean, was there ever a chance where you were like, man, I really got to change my line to try to battle harder with this guy?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I did a lot of fishing throughout the whole race. You never know, especially with this new kind of model they have with how the track's rubber in now. I just kind of searching every now and again. It's very easy to tell, especially when you have your lap delta up. If you do a lap and you're down 2 or 3 tenths from the lap previous, or the other way around, if you're up 0.10 to 0.2, clearly something there is working. And no, I mean, I think one thing that I've been trying to really focus on here recently is just running my race. Obviously, you have to be cognizant of who's around you. But no, I mean, was I looking in the mirror a couple times tonight? Sure, absolutely. But at the end of the day, again, clean air is key. So they've got to get by me. I had a game plan if they were to get to me. I think there was a couple times where I think early on it may have been Will off that very first restart. Just holding him tight to the bottom. It's really bumpy in 3 and 4 as well to try to power off the corner. So, I was going to stay middle if need be, and just especially on a late run with how tight you have to hold the bottom there. The car just gets so tight, and then that's where you get that snap oversteer, or so that was the game plan there. But now just trying to run the best lap that I could every single lap and maintain the lead, and clearly that was the key tonight. So
well, big time playoff points as well from this round of 16. Now going into the round of 12, I know how much you enjoy Watkins Glen, and I don't know about Pocono. I know you've had some battles there in the past in some of the other leagues that I've been part of the broadcast for. How you feeling about the round of 12 for you, though?
I feel pretty good. Road courses have always been my favorite, as we've seen. We had some good luck at Chicago, and we're going to hope to repeat that at Watkins Glen. I think Watkins Glen is a little bit easier for some guys, though. I mean, myself included, obviously, but not as technical as maybe a Sonoma or Chicago street course. But all in all, I like my chances there. I never guarantee myself the win because anything could happen. We've seen that and saw that a couple weeks ago there as well. So just same kind of game plan. Just run the laps that run the best lap that you can every lap, and hope that it works out for you. And then Pocono, yeah, it's a great track. Like Ray said, we've had some good battles there in the past, and been running a decent amount of laps there this week with A Open there and Precision being having a rocket ship. So that's going to be a little bit different. Just the difference between the fixed setup and the open set. But hopefully by then we'll be far enough removed that it won't be that big of a muscle memory, and we can battle it. So we'll see. I'm just hoping the car count stays at least where it's at now, right? I mean, we're probably going to have one person gone after tonight, but other than that, I mean, the car counts die off, but the racing's still been great. I mean, Chris has been really turning it on at the latter half of the season. Mason and Ray have been keeping me honest, and even Tyler there for a little bit. I know he ended up getting that penalty on the restart, and that kind of was his downfall from there. But everybody races clean and hard up front, and Pocono's a track. I mean, it's a draft track too, right? So, aero blocking like crazy in the corners, and then 15-mile long straightaways like it's an airport in the Fast and Furious scenes. But we'll see. That should keep everybody close until the tires matter, and then see from there.
All right. Well, anybody who would like to shout out? Bryce, I know you got a few people, so who would you like to shout out tonight?
No, never that. No, of course, man. Big shout out to you, of course, up in the booth doing it every week. Hope the race is here, even though I know Gateway was a little bit, it was a little rough, but hopefully tonight it was a little bit more manageable. Shout out to all the admins for their support, all the guys that still show up every week up to this point. Numbers usually die down at the end of the seasons, but I think we had 15 out there tonight. Again, not anywhere near where we were at with the 30s and 40s at the beginning of the season, but shout out to everybody that's shown up every week. There's quite a few guys that are still here that have literally raced every single week, if not, missed one. And of course, life happens, so I can't ever blame anybody for that. Big shout out to all the guys on the car. Again, Precision Speed Solutions for bringing me on. We got a great setup at Pocono, ironically, like I said. So it's been fun ripping around there. JZM Custom Tile Works, Splash and Go for their beautiful paint on the car, and then Pay RVA as well. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, my beautiful wife and my amazing son. They're the reason I get up. They're the reason I keep going. And if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be here racing. So they get the biggest shout out of them all.
All right, Bryce. Well, congrats on the second race win here in the playoffs, and we'll catch you next week at Watkins Glen.
Yes, sir. Look to see you next week. Goodbye.
And that will do it here from Richmond Raceway. Another great win here for Bryce Fountaine, and really capping off the round of 16. And we move to the round of 12 next week as we go to Watkins Glen. As I mentioned, that race on next Friday will be a 45-lap race, and then we conclude round of 12 with the second race there at Pocono, and then it's on to the round of 8. So who will be able to lock themselves into the round of 8 starting at Watkins Glen? Well, we'll have to wait and see next week. So for everybody here at Eternal Racing Championship and ERC NASCAR, thank you for stopping by and watching this 200-lap race from Richmond. We will catch you next week for Watkins Glen.